Hey everybody, hopefully you had a great weekend. I'm actually reporting to you from Miami, Florida. Bienvenido a Miami. I'm actually down here helping out the CBS station as they needed a helping hand for about a week or so, and also especially with this tropical system offshore, they wanted to make sure they were fully staffed. So obviously I don't mind lending a hand, and that's where I am right now. So what about the storm? The Hurricane Hunter reconnaissance aircraft actually flew into the storm from MacDill Air Force Base earlier this morning, and they did find a closed circulation and enough organization to go ahead and upgrade this from 99L, which it has been since it moved off the coast of Africa about a week ago, to a tropical depression number 9, the 9th of the season so far. Winds are 35 miles per hour. It's moving westerly around 9 miles per hour, and it's about 60 miles southeast of Key West. Right now it's forecast to move off to the west pretty slowly, and then it's going to move into the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico, where there won't be any friction to inhibit development of the storm. So we'll be able to develop theoretically into a fairly decent tropical storm, and then go off to the northeast, looking like it should make landfall right around the Big Bend area. Now this storm is going to be a little stronger on the right quadrant of the storm, or the eastern part of the storm. So the heaviest rain and also the strongest wind will actually be on the right quadrant, or the eastern part of the storm. So that does include parts of Tampa Bay, assuming this path actually continues to hold with it moving into the Big Bend area, and much weaker weather on the western quadrant of the storm. Alright, so what type of rainfall are we talking about? This is actually the GFS model showing you rainfall estimates between now and Friday. We could have some nice soaking downpours with, on average, about 3 to 4 inches of rain falling across much of Florida. Closer to the center of circulation, we could see 6, 7, maybe even 8 inches of rain, especially in coastal locations as we move towards the latter part of the week with that low pressure moving onshore. What about winds? It's going to be kind of a breezy week with that tropical storm offshore. We'll see winds gusting anywhere from, say, about 10 to maybe 30 miles per hour for much of the week. And then when the tropical storm starts to move onshore, somewhere around the Cedar Key area is our best estimate right now, is when we could see winds gusting upwards of around 35, 45, maybe even closer to 50 miles per hour, especially on Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. And again, notice how the winds are actually stronger on the right quadrant of this storm, with Tampa estimating a 46 mile per hour wind gust, and areas on the left quadrant of the storm only seeing winds blowing 10, maybe 15 miles per hour. So definitely a right-centric storm. Here's another storm that's developing I thought I'd mention real quick. This is actually tropical depression number 8, and it's southeast of Cape Hatteras. It's going to move off to the northwest. The Hurricane Center thinks that it will become a tropical storm, bounce off Cape Hatteras, and then move out into the Atlantic Ocean, being a storm for the fishes. Alright, so we had Alex back in January, and then Bonnie and Colin, Danielle, Earl, Fiona, and Gaston. Of course, not Gaston the Disney character. And then the next names on the list will be Hermine, Ian, Julia, Carl, Lisa, Matthew, and Nicole. What's interesting here is, remember the North Carolina storm? Well, we're not sure exactly which one is going to become a tropical storm first. Will the one in the Gulf of Mexico become a tropical storm first, or will the North Carolina storm reach tropical storm status first? Whichever one does will attain the name Hermine. The next storm will be Ian, so the Gulf storm will most likely be Hermine or Ian. My money is actually that the Gulf storm will probably develop quicker, and it will attain the name Hermine. By the way, it's Hermine and not Hermine, but that would be my guess of what's come. But don't be too surprised if you happen to see a tropical storm Ian in the Gulf of Mexico either. All right, here are the computer models. To be honest with you, they're still all over the place. Not a lot of consistency here. But with the more trusted models that I like to look at for tropics and hurricane season, there is more consistency. So I feel pretty good with the forecast here that the storm will be moving out into the Gulf, develop into a tropical storm, and then head back towards the Panhandle or the Big Bend area later in the week. Alright, here's the RPM Futurecast as we move into Monday afternoon. We'll have some scattered downpours moving across the state, basically from southeast to northwest. Nothing you haven't seen before, just a few scattered tropical downpours. Could be heavy at times on Monday and even into Tuesday with a similar forecast with some scattered showers and maybe even a few storms wrapping around that area of low pressure, which at this point will be out in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. So again, more scattered showers on Tuesday as well. On Wednesday, that storm actually starts to make a bit of a northeast turn, and as it does, it'll bring a few more scattered showers and storms our direction, even as we move into Wednesday night and Thursday as well. Switching over to the GFS model, it shows you a similar forecast, but it has the ability to go into longer range. So by Thursday, we're seeing the storm move on shore, most likely somewhere in the Big Bend area, producing heavy rainfall and gusty winds. And there is a slight storm surge threat with this as well, as will be on the southern quadrant, which could bring a southwest wind and help raise water levels a little bit. So something we'll have to keep an eye on for later in the week. So all right. That's what we're looking at. Again, I'm reporting from Miami. I'm going to go and grab some good local cuisine, and just wanted to give you a quick update on what's happening weather-wise. If you have any questions, feel free to write me. I'll do my best to get back. Till then, hopefully you guys have a great and safe evening. Okay, good night.